Johnny Alcoholic.
Johnny.
Sobriety birthday is September 25th, 2011. And, by the grace of God, I'm able to live one day at a time. And I still future trip. And, I still have the anxiety of the future and depression of the past. And I know when I got here, I self-diagnosed myself as bipolar because that's what we do. This is what's wrong with me. You saw a doctor? No, I didn't see a doctor, but I know what's wrong with me, and I always knew that something was wrong with me since day one. I didn't know it was a spirituality, but there was definitely something wrong. I jump everywhere in my story. It's like a Quentin Tarantino style. It's just everywhere, so keep up if you can. I'll try to keep up if I can, And I try not to lie, which, it's hard, or exaggerate, because, I love exaggerating. I don't lie, just exaggerate. And so when my mom was pregnant, this is my mind working. When my mom was pregnant, I don't know how many months, 6 months, 7 months with me. They were in Mexico, and they got in a car accident. I believe my dad had a Nova, and the car rolled. And somehow my dad's back's all broken. He can't get out of the car. My mom was able to climb a bank and ask for help, and she's pregnant with me, right? And I'm not saying that that's why I'm an alcoholic, but I sure needed a drink when I was in there, And but then something popped in my head later in life that baby died there, and I was adopted. I don't know how that came into my head, but I bought it. I believed the lie, And from then I was in I don't know, take revenge for them lying to me, So I was born. My birth name is it's Juan Martin Valenzuela Reyes, and it was like that till I got my first job at 16, 17, and I changed my name to John because I didn't want them to use my name as saying, you're not going to get a job here because you're Mexican. You have a Spanish name, Mexican name. So I changed my name because all my life from there to when I was little, I hate to say this, but there was a lot of racism, but not so much with the white people, but a lot of racism between Mexicans. I spoke Spanish and I spoke English. Somehow down the line, as a young kid, my English and Spanish got twangled, and I can't pronounce a lot of words in Spanish, and I can't pronounce a lot of words in English. I don't know what happened, and so in the Mexican, I'm a pocho. I can speak it, I can't read it or write, but there's a lot of words I cannot pronounce. So right off the bat, because I speak Spanish and this and that, I was born here. I was actually born in La Mirada, and I'm a wetback mojado, according to Mexicans. All right, those are my people, right? So I was like, fuck, what's wrong with these people? What the fuck? So Mexicans did that, and the race, the kind of racism that I did experience from white is they accused me of stealing. Kind of different. And then the Americans. So now I'm in between both of these, right? So today I'm so thankful that I learned both English and Spanish. My daughter, she doesn't know it very well. My grandkids will not know it unless they go to school. And I actually took school. I took Spanish because that's an easy grade, and I failed because I got a D because I knew lingual. I didn't know the pronunciation. I didn't know the proper Spanish, and I thought that they were wrong. You guys are wrong. That's not the way we speak it at home. And so I didn't do good in that. And that's the way my life went. And I needed a drink, because I was very uncomfortable since day one. I can't remember any time in my life that I felt like I was welcome. My mind will tell me that I don't belong, and I fucking believe it every time. Stone cold sober. It's not just when I was 10, 14, stone cold sober. I remember I was a little kid, I was on a skateboard, there was a crack, and I fell, and I cracked my teeth right here. And I was young, I can't remember how old I was, but I was very young. Then my cousin, she had a quinceañera, and you gotta remember, like, this is like the early 80s, so like even like listening to Vicente, Ramon Ayala, and all, Juan Gabriel, Jose, that was not popular back then. I remember my dad would drop me off at junior high school, and I can hear these guys going, oh, here comes a wet bag, right? And I'm like, fuck, what are you guys mad about? Like, jeez. And I didn't want to hear Spanish music because I didn't want to be called that. The problem with me is that I internalize anger in me. Now it's my fault that I have those parents. What are my parents? I never wanted to be like my dad because he was a hard worker. He supported my mom. He raised 3 boys, 3 girls. One of them, it was crazy, and I didn't want to be like that. I wanted to be like the people that were partying outside my window because the girls were there, and they were having a good time, and they were listening to funk, disco, freestyle, and it sounded good to me, and I wanted to be just like that. And when I looked out my window, I said, that's what I want to be. I don't want to go to school. I want to be a party guy. Party, right? So anyways, I go back to, like I said, I jump around. So I was my cousin was having a quinceañera, and it was in San Diego, and in San Diego was important because that's where I started my drinking career. That's where I got like drunk the first time. And I don't remember ever saying, I won't do that again. I said, I want to do that again. Like, I don't even remember if I had a hangover. It didn't matter. I just said, I love the way that shit made me feel. Just like, and the table was like this. I'm 13, the girls are 15, 16, they're right there. And I have, I love making people laugh. Even if it's in my expense, I love laughter. I like when people laugh. But then that turned into, they're laughing at me. Right? Just like my head, it turned against me, just like alcohol. So I'm there chilling, and I'm talking, and I broke my tooth when I was young, and I got dentures, and just like in the freaking movies, my dentures flew off, and they just went, and I just saw it in slow motion, and it just went, boom, boom, pow, pow, and all the girls went, ooh. And you don't want to hear that from a girl. And I just went, oh, I need a drink. I needed a drink so bad. Thank God my cousin was there, and he was older than us, and he had some drinks, and here you go. And I just went, felt great, right? And that's my life. My life is it's like fucking tragedy and fucking hilarious, It was, I had these character defects way before alcohol came. It's the reason why I drank. Because I remember feeling all this shit in my head, in my heart, in my mind, and when alcohol hit me, it just smoothed. I finally belong as a young kid. I'm able to talk. I'm able to do this. I just belong, And I remember making the decision that I want to be those guys, right? So I went for it. I didn't care for school. I love summer school because that's where all the guys that were drinking were in summer school. So it was just free. So I was like, hell yeah, summer school for like 4 years of my life. And it was fun. And my mom was a very strict person. She was going to take care of her sons at all costs. It didn't matter, she was going to take care of us, and she didn't care how we felt. I thought it was not having love then, but that was her job, was to protect us from the neighborhood that I grew up in. And I remember I grew up in Santa Fe Springs. We just happened to live in the street where there was drive-bys, shootouts, and stuff like that. Of all Santa Fe Springs, we lived in that one street, and it was with the guys from Pico Rivera, Whittier, and they would come, and they would, we would hear it, and my mom was scared, my dad was scared, and they were going to protect me. I wanted to hang out with them. I remember me and my brothers, one of them, we would go over there to the next door, and she knew we were there, and she would walk over there, and she'll be, Juan. And all the homeboys go, Ite, wanna pegar, And I was just like, Mom, you don't care about us. I'm adopted, that's why. And I don't, my mom just said, I don't care what you think about me. I didn't come to this country so I could see you guys be there. I didn't understand what that meant, I just knew that they were having fun and I couldn't have fun. So then somewhere when I graduated, I went to ditching parties, I did all that. And then I graduated. And at that point, now that I'm 18 and I'm an American and I know my rights, the only right I knew is that I'm 18. And I still live with my parents, but I didn't consider that as a problem. I was going to freeload, and I didn't consider that as a problem. I just knew that I was 18, I can do whatever I want. And I made a conscious decision to do everything I wanted to do, and it didn't matter when I made my mom cry, when I made my dad pissed, none of that mattered because I was going to do what I wanted to do. And that's a late bloomer for me, because what I was doing, people that were 13, 14, they were already doing it. But for me, that was a late bloomer. But I was already kind of like, I already had the thought at a young age that I was going to do this, So anyway, I did it, and it didn't go well for me. And that's my childhood, and I needed a drink every single time. In Bill's story, it talked, like, what can I relate to Bill? He's white, stock market, New York. I'm Mexican. I'm here in California, and I'm not a stockbroker, right? But what I do relate is that every time he felt a certain way, his solution was alcohol. Every single time, alcohol. People were jumping from the stock market crash. People were jumping. He said, "No, I'm not going to do that." He went back and started drinking. Same thing with me. Every problem I had in my life, my solution was straight up alcohol. That's what it was, just alcohol. I had, I wish I could tell you that I was this like womanizer, even though I looked up to those guys. These womanizers, they were bad boys, and I wanted to be just like them. Except I went a little too far. I was very disrespectful and very degrading towards women, and I don't know how they were able to get away with it, but they were, and I just tried to do what they were doing, and as a result, I drank alone. I was always, alcohol was just king master of my life. It just was. It was just my solution. Then after that, a lot of stuff started coming into my life, and I like those things too. Because I was able to do those and then drink more. Man, what a good fucking thing, right? I'm able to drink more because I don't know what it is, but sometimes I could drink like all day and like, MVP drinker, right? I'm just like, and then sometimes I'll drink 6 beers and I'm passed out. And it's weird how that worked in my system. So anyways, I ended up getting 2 DUIs. First DUI, we had to go to school, six classes. I wasn't ready for sobriety. I did not think I had a problem. It was you guys who had the problem with me. I did not have the problem, right? So I wasn't ready. Second DUI, it was like 10 years later. Second one comes, and once again, I don't have the problem. It's you guys that have the problem. So I was not ready for sobriety. I didn't even know what that was. How am I going to live life without alcohol? How am I going to live life without this solution that I found at an early age? I drank the beer because it helped me cope with my character defects. It helped my character defects. After a while, character defects and alcohol, just like oil and water, did not mix, and it just came out raw. It just came out bad. But that's when I thought the world turned against me. So anyway, so then I had the two. I get my second DUI, and I forge. You guys don't have to be here if you don't want to be here. You know what I mean? Like, you can forge those things that the court send you. I forged mine. I went to the first one, and I said, and then someone said, "This is anonymous. You know, the court's not going to ask that. You know, who did you go see and this and that." And I said, "Oh wow, okay." So then I started to start forging everything. So I didn't go to any AA class, any AA meetings, but I had to go to the mandatory one. That one I did have to go to in Downey, and it was a guy named. His name was this. It's not me calling him that, but. Big Daddy George or something like that. That's what he went by. Big, tall, white guy, skinny. The only thing I got from him was that if you guys do the 12 steps within the year, honestly, like if you really do them, right? You got 12 months, you got 12 steps, 12 months. If you really do them, and if your life doesn't get better, then go and drink again. Not a big deal. That's all I heard. I didn't do them. You know, that's all I heard. And then I heard people say like, you know, I'm a garage drinker. I drink, you know, and I'm a man, losers. I ended up in the garage. I'm in the garage now, and I don't want to go nowhere. You know, they call them torpedoes. I had one. Hey, go pick me up this, and yeah, and here's some money. Go, you know, like I'm spending my money. He's driving my car. If it gets repossessed, I have to pay for it, but I don't care because I don't get the next DUI, right? So he's doing all that. But I'm in the garage now. I don't go nowhere. I'm done. Clubs, bars, I'm done. So that's my life. And it was like that until 2011. And what happened was, my friend goes, "You really don't ever talk about why you got here or anything." And I go, "Because nobody wants to hear it." But I hear it a lot, actually. The reason I got here is because I got my heart broken, right? It was this fantasy, this expectations that I put on this person. And I've always had expectations all my life. But this time it was different. She was a high school sweetheart and this blah, blah, blah. I want to throw up when I think that way, you know? And I just remember her saying what everyone in my life was saying is, you have a problem when you drink. When you drink, you get nasty. You get like, and not like nasty. I get like verbally nasty, you know? And I don't like being around you, right? And I took that to heart. For something happened. God was working at me. I don't even know that he was, but something happened on this one. And it just like, I mean, you said that it took you out, right? It took me to a spin that I've never been before. I end up coming here, and I'm like just depressed now. Now I'm really bipolar, right? Now I have to be bipolar. No one can think this way, right? I have to be this, depressed. And I remember laying in my bed, and I'm like 39 years old, and I'm all fucked up. Just mentally, spiritually bankrupt. I did not know those words until today. Not today, but until I got here. And then I remember like 2011, my daughter's graduating. I get sobriety. I don't drink, actually. Because when I work with the guys that I work with, I don't even say you're sober or sobriety. I just say, you know what, you're just not drinking. That's it. You're just not drinking. Let's get through the steps. Let's see if you can find some sobriety. Let's see if we can get some sobriety in you and stuff like that, right? Because to me, it is different for me, you know? And I didn't come to AA to think that way. You know, I didn't come to AA to learn the traditions, to respect three, to... When I first got here in 2011, I remember this lady that was sitting right there. This guy was up here pouring his heart out, and he's just straight talking drugs, right? And she says, "This is Alcoholics Anonymous. If you need NA, we will gladly send you to NA. Stick with drugs." And I said in my head, "What a bitch!" You know what I mean? Like that guy is like pouring his heart out right now, and she just, right? And she's wrong, and all the old timers when I got here were wrong. Right? Because I know self-knowledge avails us nothing. half measure Isabel does nothing, you know. Self-knowledge is self-knowledge brought me here. I'm here because of self-knowledge. And I remember hearing all this and this and that, and I was like, man, they are wrong. Turns out they were right. In my book. You know, in my book, they were right. So I get here. I get in 2011, January 3rd, 2011. By September 24th, I didn't drink, but I smoked and snorted. And I said, like, hey, I'm a smart one. I'm not going to tell them I drank because I didn't drink, and I'm smart. I found the loophole. Because, you know, smoking is from the earth. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with smoking. It's from, you know, God gave us, you know, this and that, right? I use all that shit, you know? But from now on, for the next probably 2 years, 3 years, I think it was 2 or 3, I'm taking dirty cakes. Dirty cakes means I'm not being honest with myself, and I'm not being honest with you guys. I'm not sober. You know, I did some stuff. And finally something happened. I can't remember what it was, and I'm in the car with my mom, and I call my sponsor, and I tell my sponsor what I did, and he goes, all right, cool, just go to your men's stag, because that's my home group at that time, and tell them that what you did. And he goes, okay. So then mom goes, what's wrong? And I go, wow, I snorted and smoked. And she goes, did you drink? I said, no. Oh, good. Because she did not like me drinking. If she saw me drinking, she didn't want to be there, and she didn't want me even to be there. If you're gonna drink, I don't want you here. Yeah. In Spanish. If you're gonna drink, I don't want you here. Once you drink, you want to argue with everybody. You want to start doing this and that, right? They're lying. I'm not like that. I'm having a good time. Anyways, I get here. I have to admit my truth. That was my truth. So I had to change my sobriety date to September 25th, 2011. The day I finally admitted it to my home group, which a men's stag, a sense of freedom just came out. My first real truth freedom was out. Boy, did that feel good. I want more of that. You know, I get here 2011. I'm going through the. I get my sponsor, and I didn't get I didn't get a sponsor till 90 days. And I said, hey, I want what you guys have, right? And he goes, okay, well, this is what you got to do. You're gonna have to. He didn't have a car, of course. You can pick me up. We're gonna go to these meetings. Boom, boom, boom. And telling me, okay. No, I didn't say okay. Oh, okay. And, I mean, like I was in a year. I was like, what? You know. And then I said, you know what? My daughter's graduating, and I'm gonna go. I just signed up for softball, so yeah, I can't do that. And he goes, well, call me when you can. And I let it be. 2 weeks later, I called him crying, busting out, hurting, pain. Felt like a banana. You know, when you peel one off, my skin would just be peeled off. And I've never felt this before. Never felt this before. And I said, okay, I'll do what you want. So we started doing it. I started getting busy. I started doing Joe and Charlie on Thursday night, 7:30 in 2011. And now I facilitate that one now. You know, like I said, this is not what I came for. I just didn't want to drink and get her back. And I kept, and I did that. And then he was gonna move, and then I get this other sponsor my second year, and the only reason I got him because he was gonna show me how to pick up girls. Because I don't even know how to talk to girls sober. I need alcohol. I need freaking alcohol to talk to a girl. And he was gonna show me how to do it. Turns out he's a AA big book Nazi, as far as a big book. Traditions. He doesn't tell me how to live my life out here. He just tells me how to behave and how to act in AA. You know, what it is. This is not for everybody, but it was for me. I didn't know that. God put him in my life not knowing that for the wrong reasons. And that was the best thing that's happened to me. Because that big book came alive. All my problems are in there. Selfish, self-centered to the core. My chief factor is self-centered fear. Every decision, I look back, I did a 4-step, and every decision that I ever made was fear. Every decision. The fear of what you would think about me if I didn't choose this way, if I didn't make this choice, you know? And it was going to be like, yes, I think Jeremy's going to like it if I say yes, so yes. And then I'm doing it like, fuck, what did I do that for? You know what I mean? And that's the way my life was. Everything I did, that's like that saying, it's like, what's gonna kill, it's not so much what I think about me or something like that, it's more of what I think you think about me that's gonna kill me. Now I have a distorted, effed up mind. The mind that said that kid died when my mom was pregnant. That's the kind of mind that I'm basing my knowledge on. You know, that's what I'm running my life on. That. And I'm running my life on hate. I'm running my life on fear because my vocabulary isn't up to par. You know, it isn't what everyone is supposed to be. I stuttered when I was a kid. When I was a kid, they put me in a class in elementary, and I thought it was for the cool kids, because all the cool kids were there. At least I thought they were the cool kids, right? And then I found out, they go, no, that wasn't a cool kid class. That was for the people that were slow in reading and stuff like, and math and all that. And I was like, damn, I should have paid attention. And that's my life, right? I come here, and I have to change all that shit if I want to recover from a seemingly hopeless state of mind, because that will take me out. I get here, and again, this is just me. For the newcomers, I saw newcomers, be careful with the pink cloud, because to me, the pink cloud is a very deceiving cloud. It'll make you feel good, make you think good. It'll make, I had me fucking working out. It had me eating right. Once that pink cloud popped, I was back to who I am. Angry, pissed, hate, natural born hater I am. Judgmental to the core. When I was in the pink cloud, I was, hey, welcome, 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 Then it pops, it's like, why are you here? But today I think that the pink cloud is just a glimpse of God's kingdom. For me, I really believe that pink cloud, because I wanted to feel that again and again, because that's why I did the drugs and that's why I did alcohol. I want to feel that. And to me, the pink cloud is just this is what you can have if you do this right here. I have to do this. There's a part of the big one that says, meetings are great and deep, but it's a far cry from permanent sobriety. To me, that means I just don't come to meetings and just sit in meetings. I have to do this right here. I don't know why. When I sat with that sponsor, the book came alive. There it is for me right here. There is no around it. There is no take time off, because your illness, the mind, doesn't take a time off. Doesn't wake up in the morning and says, you know what, you've done a lot of damage. I'm going to let you just rest for a while. Take a time out, right? It doubles down. Like my mind will create all my problems. It's self-crisis. I create it all the time. And that same mind that creates it wants to solve it. And it ain't going to happen. I just double down. That's all I'm doing. Well, if I go this way, go this way, go this way. Not once did I ever think like, well, maybe I should give it to God. Because I didn't believe it. I was the type that I would say I don't believe in God, but there I am blaming God. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you see, it's your fault. And when something happened, see, it was all me. And today, it's not like that for me. I came in here, tore up, spiritually bankrupt. It was the best thing that I've done. That breakup was the best thing that's ever happened to me. My mom still trips out. Like it's crazy that I've tried to, have you not drink. Your dad, everyone here tried to talk you into stop the drinking, but it took her to make you realize that you had a problem. So I think it's Anita that says that. Like, it doesn't matter how you get here, just stay here, right? She says that, right? But for me, even if you stay here, do this. I know people say, it's just suggested. I don't suggest. If you want to recover from a seemingly hopeless state of mind, this is what I had to do, and this is what I tell. If somebody says, are you on the phone right now?
No.
Because you can step outside if you want, you know? Yeah, if you're on the phone.
I was reading.
Oh, because I keep hearing something over here. Where was I at? Damn it.
Come on. Do the steps.
Oh, do the steps. So I had to do this, and I didn't know that. You know what I mean? I didn't care about the traditions until later on in my sobriety. Now I care about them. I don't quite like understand a lot of them, but I. When I got here, there was enough old timers that I believe worked the steps, were helping the newcomer, and there was enough of them that if a newcomer started going sideways, going this, that the old timers will say, no, this is not the way we do it here. This is the way we do it here. There was enough of them to do that. You know, it was like a group conscious within new timers, and it had nothing to do that they got together and did that. I believe because they respected this right here. You know what I mean? They knew this right here. They knew this right here and how it changed their life. So they were all in that way in the same page. This guy told me, when the patients take over the asylum, that's when we're in trouble. Right? And I didn't know what he meant at that time. Well, after COVID, the patients took over. Those old timers are gone. There ain't that many old timers here anymore. There really isn't. There's a lot of like people that want sobriety, right? But they're not doing this. You know, and I learned that at Joe Charlie when I was doing it my first year. Indian Dave, his name was. For some reason, he always stays in my head. Always stays in my head because he always says, we want to help. We just don't know how to. But we want to. You know, we just don't. This book will show us how to. We want to be of service. We just don't know how to. I don't know how to live life without this book that's right here. And I'm glad that this book is here because there's been times I haven't seen this book in a while out here. And I do not know how to live life on my own. I have to have a power greater than myself that I choose to call God. God of my understanding, because it says it right here. You know, Bill was sneaky. You know, because he doesn't say it right here, but he drops it in 3. Right after 2, he drops it in 3. Boom. I was like, damn. I don't know, it's just one of those things that I did. This is not what I came for. Shit, when I came in 2011, my daughter was already graduating high school, and I try to be a disciplined dad, or now that I'm sober, you know. And I tell her something, and she says, what did she say? I think I was like 4 months or something of not drinking, because I did, you know, just not drink. And then she says like, well, who do you think you are? You stopped drinking a couple of months, and now you think you're going to tell me what to do? Like, I've been doing this whole thing myself. Like, you know how many people talked about you that you were drunk in the family that I had to back up? I had to back you up. And I was just like, oh. I had to step back, you know? And I was like, baby, because I called my daughter baby. Baby. And she goes, yeah, and she's just going off. And the best thing I could say is, go to your room. But she was right. You know? That's the pink cloud that made me cocky. That's a pink cloud that I thought that I knew what was up. I didn't know what was up. I have no idea. When I got to my 9th year, when I hit 10, I thought that somehow my mind said, hey, you graduated. 10 years, double digits. I was only going to be here for 30 days. I ended up being at 10. Let me tell you, 1 through 10, it goes by like that. You look back, it's like, fuck. I haven't had a drink in 10 years. I haven't had anything in 10 years. And Steve Flores, rest in peace, passed away. He goes up to me. I had a little thing in my house, and he goes up to me. He goes, "Hey, be careful, because 10 is a dangerous number." What do you mean it's a dangerous number? You know, it's 10. I got 10. And he had more than me. And he told me his story. When I hit 10, I thought I had it, and I ended up working the steps backwards. Right? I was like, what? There's a party right here. I don't want to, this and that. Next morning, I wake up. I'm not going to go to a meeting today. I'm good. Right off the bat, my mind said, I'm not. And I I felt that. It wasn't a thought. It was like I really felt it. And I said, damn, he was right. And after the 10th year, at that time, I was with the girl for 7 years. I don't know why my head said marriage was not for me. Actually, I do know, because I still at 40, I don't know how 40, what am I, 50? 49, 50, I still wanted to be like those people that were outside my window when I was like 8 years old, 10 years old. I still wanted to be like that at 49, 47. I still wanted to be that guy. My parents been married all this time, so I don't know. That was my reasoning, right? And she changed her mind that she wanted to get married. He goes, "No, you can't change your mind." Obviously, I learned that women can change their mind at any time. I didn't know that. I thought it was just that they were just being mean, I had no clue of that. I had no skills whatsoever. And apparently they could change her mind. She changed her mind. I said, no. She was perfect. She wasn't the perfect girl, but she was perfect for me. She tolerated all my defects. She supported me in AA. She would come to the meetings with me and this and that, until she just said, I don't want to go to the meetings. That's fine. You don't have to come. But she did. And something happened. I didn't want to. Broke it off. She did. And I thought that, I got the freedom now. It's like I still thought I had freedom even then, I wasn't a good guy. I also found out that what happened with me is, even if I didn't do anything with a certain girl, she was hurt because I was emotionally attached to that. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that was wrong. Like, I always thought that as long as I didn't do physical part, that's okay. But they get hurt with the emotional part, and I did not know that. Like I said, I don't know how to live life. And I learned, and oh no, I'm not gonna talk about that. And it got broken off, and then so her dad passes away. So she ends up getting married within the year that we broke up. Her dad passes away, and then I changed sponsor. My sister passed away in 2019. We broke up in 2020 probably, and I'm hiding this stuff down. I'm not, because I'm never gonna cry again. And her dad passes away. Within that year, she finds another guy. She ends up getting married. Within that year, so my mind's already thinking like, wow, that is from this, that, It's not her fault. She had to do what she had to do. I did what I did, and I paid the consequences. I paid for it. And I remember going to talking to my sponsor at that time, because I changed sponsors, and I talking to him, and I said, because I always hear people talking, my sponsor went with me to the courts. My sponsor took me here. Hey, sponsor, can you go with me to the funeral? And he goes, why do you want to go? He goes, because the dad was always good with me. He was a good guy. The brother was good. And he goes, okay. He ends up not going because something happened. I don't know what happened. I end up going by myself. And I end up sitting way in the back because I wasn't going to sit in the front. And her best friend goes, hey, come in the front. I go, no, I can't go in the front. I'm just here to see this, and then I'm out. And I get there, and I see him and her. And I don't feel nothing. And I didn't feel nothing since the moment we broke up to that point. I go, say my respects, see you later. I walk out. As I'm walking out, the brother was there. He gives me a hug. And he says, like, hey, man, my dad really respected you, And I said, yeah, your dad was a real good person. I walk out, and then, poof, just like what you said. And I remember when the other time I felt like that was when I got here, and I found the floor, 2011, and it felt like all my skeletons got out of the closet. Everything that I ever did in my life just flew off. And I said, God, I need to stay sober. I don't want to live this way no more. I don't know what to do. And he says, and all I heard is keep going to AA. That's all I heard. It didn't say do the steps, just go to AA. And I was very early in my 30 days in my sobriety. And just like that, I get up, dust myself off, and that was it. I felt right. When I walk out the funeral, I'm walking out, same thing happened. This is 10 years later. All this stuff is happening. I call my best friend, and I said, you know what, I can't talk to you. He goes, no. Tell me what happened. And I just bawled. And all that shit that I did to her. And it happened again. And then now for the next year and a half, I have been I dove into this book more than I did my first 10 years. And I help other alcoholics if they want it. I take this thing for reals because I don't like what's in here. Remember, I thought I died when I was there. I don't belong. You hear people say God doesn't make junk. But that's not the way I think, because he made me. And I'm not saying I'm the worst person here, and I'm that, and this and that, but he made me, and I ran with it my rest of my life. And there comes I don't know, for me there came a time, the time came where it's like, when are you going to grow up? When are you going to stop acting like that kid that saw the guys in the window, womanizing, drinking, and doing all that stuff? When are you going to stop doing that and finally start living a life? Because I hear people here, they're alcoholics, and they got a car, they're ready to retire, they're ready to do this. Fuck, I fucked that up. I messed that up. I don't got any of that. I'm going to be worried. My brother's talking about retiring next year, and I'm like, geez, I'm like, and I didn't do none of that because I thought that I knew the answer. I thought my way was going to give me all kinds of money, all kinds of this, and it didn't get me nothing. What it did get me is the pain, the gift of desperation so bad that I came in here and I started working these steps, and I found a freedom of self, a freedom from me that I have never felt before. I didn't know that this was possible to think this way. I didn't know it was possible to be easy on myself, to be kind to myself. I didn't know none of that was possible, but it is possible through God. I have to clear. In the 11th, it talks about being the channel of love and all that stuff. The only way I was able to be that channel is by doing that 4th step and making these amends, and then carrying the message of doing all this right here. I had to do that, or else all this shit is just gonna keep piling up, and I don't even know until one day I'm gonna take a drink. Because what's the point of being miserable if you're not drinking? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna be so miserable. I've done that. These last 2 years, I want to say it was rough for me. Because a lot of stuff also happened within these 2 years. A lot of stuff had happened that brought me pain in my self-imposed crisis that I brought to myself because I thought I knew what I needed, what I wanted. And God is trying to take it away from me, and I'm trying to take it. No, 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 no. This is what I want. This is what I want. Because that's what you need. You know? This is what you need right here. And I dove myself in. I respect the old timers because they held this thing here together. As rough as they were when I got here in 2011, they were rough. But they knew what they were telling me. They never, everything they told me, like I said, was about how to at least act here, man. Like, you know, this is not what I came for. I did not come to respect this or to do this. You know, Jeremy had asked me 2 weeks ago, hey, you want to speak? And I said, finally someone asked me. And for the next, until today, right now when I walked in, all right, what am I going to say? I was excited. Then I sit down, I was like, oh my God, why did I say yes for? Everything I said was like, you know, what I wrote down was going to be awesome. You know? Then Robert's here and I can't lie now. And what I found here too is you find a family that you didn't think you were going to find, that you always wanted in your life. A family that I always thought, my parents are the best parents that I could have. They knew what they were doing. Like the dad that I said I didn't want to be, ends up having, between them two, they end up like, they have 3 properties. And they're from Mexico. And they came over here, and now they have 3 properties. I was born here, I don't got shit. You know, like what the hell happened? Like what happened? You know what I mean? They came here for one thing and one thing only, to provide, to take care of us. I came here thinking that, you guys don't know it's in America, and this, you don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, and I love my life in Alcoholics Anonymous. It didn't happen overnight. A lot of tears, a lot of pain, a lot of, God, it's not fair. A lot of them. But what I learned is if I just hold on, talk to my sponsor, read the big book, because I read the big book. I go to big book studies all the time. That's where I'm at, is the big book studies. I rarely come to participation. I read the big book. I got to connect the dots. You're the type that has to connect the dots. That's a big dot right here. And I'm trying to connect my life in here. And it's in there. And the only way I can connect it through my experience, strength, and hope. My experience that I've done, my thinking, everything, it's in there. I just have to be open-minded about it. I can't close my mind. And then one day somebody says, I got the gift of desperation, and that was like last year, and it just popped. God, the gift of desperation. And I've been here for a while, and I was, oh my God. It just blew my mind. The gift of desperation. And I thank God that I had that gift of desperation, because if I didn't, I'll get cocky, and I know it all, and I'm out. I never want to go back to that person again, ever. I want to be where I'm at today. And like I said, I love my life in Alcoholics Anonymous. And if you really want to recover from a seemingly hopeless state of mind, I strongly suggest that you do this right here. I don't know any other word. Some people can go to church. Some people can do the therapy. That's cool. I had to do this right here. And it's working. So anyways, thank you for letting me share.